What if I told you that your white-collar job, yes, the one you spent years training for, might be gone by 2027? No layoffs, no downsizing, simply replaced by AI. And the scariest part? We're not ready. Not even close. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why experts believe this is inevitable, why companies are rushing into it, and, most importantly, what you can do right now to avoid becoming obsolete. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, where we break down the biggest tech trends shaping your future career, wallet, and life. Today, we're diving into a prediction that's starting to sound less like science fiction and more like tomorrow's breaking news. AI could wipe out white-collar jobs by 2027. I know, it sounds extreme, but this isn't some random Twitter thread. This is coming from AI researcher Sholto Douglas at Anthropic, one of the most serious labs on the planet. And wait till you hear how quickly this tidal wave might hit. Drop an emoji in the comments if you're ready to get ahead of this curve. Let's start with the timeline, because this is where most people's jaws drop. Sholto Douglas predicts that by 2027 to 2028, AI models will be fully capable of automating any white-collar job. Not some, not most, any. In fact, Douglas goes as far as to say it's near guaranteed. And if you think that's some overly ambitious forecast, he adds this chilling caveat. Even if AI progress completely stalls starting today, the algorithms we already have are enough to automate white-collar work. Companies just need the infrastructure. This means that even if no breakthrough happens tomorrow, we're still on track to see this shift happen fast. Let's pause for a second and address the obvious question. If the tech already exists, why isn't it happening everywhere right now? Great question. Here's the thing. AI models like GPT-4o, Claude 3, Gemini, and the rest, they can already write reports, analyze data, code software, generate marketing campaigns, provide customer support, and even create financial models. The missing piece? Company infrastructure, proper data pipelines, legal compliance, cultural adoption. Once companies overcome these hurdles, which they're racing to do, the floodgates open. And unlike physical jobs, most white-collar work happens on computers. No need for robots, factories, or massive capital investment. Just data, software, and permissions. Now, let's get brutally honest. At the end of the day, this isn't about whether companies should automate. It's about whether they will. And financially, they absolutely will. The total addressable market of white-collar salaries is in the trillions globally. Douglas puts it simply. It's trivially worthwhile for companies to automate. Think about it. No healthcare costs, no paid vacations, no HR issues, no employee turnover, 24/7 productivity. Every CEO's dream. And when one company starts automating, competitors are forced to follow or risk falling behind. To put this speed into perspective, Douglas compares it to China's rapid urbanization over the past 20 years, one of the fastest economic transformations in history. But here's the kicker. AI's takeover will be dramatically faster. Why? Because China's growth required building physical cities, infrastructure, supply chains. AI? Just software updates. This isn't a bulldozer problem, it's a server problem. And servers scale fast. Now you might be thinking, what about physical jobs? What about construction, electricians, plumbers? Excellent point. Physical work still requires real-world interaction, robotics, precision control, things current AI struggles with. White-collar work, however, lives in spreadsheets, emails, code bases, and CRMs, in other words, digital environments. And AI thrives in digital environments, so while physical workers may enjoy a longer grace period, white-collar professionals, they're standing directly in front of the tsunami. You don't have to wait for 2027 to see this happening. Look at Microsoft, one of the biggest investors in AI. They've already started laying off entire teams of software engineers. Why? Because they're replacing them with AI-powered coding co-pilots that can write, test, and debug code faster than any human team. And they're not alone. Across industries, legal firms are using AI to draft contracts. Financial institutions use AI for risk analysis. Marketing agencies automate entire campaigns. This isn't some distant future, it's happening right now. Here's where it gets scary. AI experts warn that from now until 2030, the pace of white-collar job displacement will be a straight line. Not gradual, not bumpy, just a steady, predictable march. And if you've spent 20 or 30 years building a specialized career, that gives you only 2 to 3 years to completely pivot or adapt. Imagine spending your entire life becoming an expert accountant, lawyer, or data analyst, only to have 36 months to reinvent yourself. That's the brutal reality facing millions of workers. Quick check-in. If you've made it this far, drop an emoji in the comments, because yeah, it's that real. Some forward-thinking CEOs are sounding the alarm. They're advising that companies get every white-collar employee using AI tools immediately. 2, build formal AI education and retraining programs now. 3, start treating AI literacy like basic computer literacy. Because here's the cold, hard truth. If you wait until automation hits your department, you're not preparing your team. You're preparing a layoff list. It's no longer a nice-to-have skill. It's survival. Now, some of you might be thinking, if everyone loses their job, who's going to buy anything? Won't the whole economy collapse? Great question. And honestly, this is one of the great unsolved paradoxes of AI automation. Right now, companies aren't thinking 10 to 20 years ahead. They're focused on quarterly earnings, shareholder returns, and staying ahead of competitors. The system prioritizes short-term advantage over long-term stability. Eventually, governments may need to step in with policies like Universal Basic Income, UBI, Workforce Reskilling Funds, AI taxation models. But as of today, there's no global plan, just companies sprinting toward automation. Honestly, the scariest part isn't AI itself, it's how unprepared we are. The world is sleepwalking into one of the biggest labor disruptions since the Industrial Revolution. And most people are still busy arguing whether ChatGPT can write a college essay. If we don't wake up, individually and collectively, millions will be blindsided. So, what can you do? Let me give it to you straight. Learn AI tools now. Prompt engineering, AI copilots, automation platforms. Identify what parts of your job AI can't do yet. Human creativity, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking. Invest in transferable skills. Leadership, entrepreneurship, adaptability. Stay informed, because awareness gives you time. The clock isn't just ticking, it's racing. If you want me to make a full breakdown of the top AI skills to learn for job security, smash that like button and comment, "Make the list." If this video gave you chills, you're not alone. But knowledge is power, and you're already ahead of most just by watching.